So, up at the start, it's the next round of the Britannia Challenge Cup. We have London Rowing Club on the left of your screen, who are up against Thames Rowing Club B on the right of your screen. So, two massive clubs, they're neighbours in Putney. They'll have watched each other through all the winter training, through all the winter races, and clubs with such history, but also such strength in depth, and a really tight race out the starts, with London Rowing Club at the moment on the far side, just squeezing ahead a little.
London have just been so impressive throughout this entire regatta, throughout all their crews. And this isn't even the top London crew that we've got here facing up. Edward Thomas, Ben Stathmer, Lawrence Ellis and Joshua Leon, Cox by Rose Lewis. You know, the Thames Cup 8 is clearly their sort of striding premier boat that they've got, but this four here could be making the Friday and the weekend of Henley Royal Regatta as well. Very close though still with the Thames B crew, had a cracking race against Commercial yesterday. Don't know if you managed to catch that one, Kath, but it was excellent.
No, I saw the London Rowing Club beating Krefelder yesterday fairly convincingly, increasing their lead throughout, and you know, in the end, yeah, Thames B were pretty dominant, but you know, this is a tough one for both of them to get, you know, on a Thursday at Henley.
Yeah, I'm getting my Thames B crews and my Commercials mixed up. Of course, it was tide race colours. That's my fault completely. I'll blame it on my baby brain. But look at this, less than a length still between these two crews, and all to play for here as we come past Remenham.
So not comfortable for the London. They're dominating since they've gone out the front, but they will not yet be feeling they can relax. They'll be really aware of Thames Rowing Club B putting in the pushes, and they know Thames Rowing Club will have done all the winter training required at this point, and there's a lot of experience in the Thames Rowing Club crew. Got Steve Bennett at bow, Matteo Amodio at 2, Philip Sturzinger at 3, Stroke Stanley Cannons, Cox by Lena Müller-Kögler, who's in her second Henley, but at bow, Steve Bennett, this is his 8th Henley. So there is a lot of experience that they need to draw on now, because actually as we start to go down the course, London are now pulling away.
And that'll be the job now of Cox of Thames Rowing Club B, Lena Müller-Kögler, who can see what's happening from that coxswain seat. She'll be able to see that London are drawing away, and I'm almost certain, given these guys race each other, like you say, they're next door neighbours, she'll have some call that they'll all want to engage in, that they'll all want to group together to try and face off against their rivals. And I think they are starting to respond here, Kath, and starting to very slowly kind of inch that gap back to the London Rowing Club crew. But have they just let them get that little bit too far away?
That's the question, isn't it? It's that slightly quieter moment. Usually when you are down, you start to front load your race, or you start to bring your race forward, you bring your sprint forward, and that is what they're doing, and they're getting a sense that's working. They're actually getting a sniff of the London crew. I think they've started to say, right, we're not going to wait till we get to the enclosures, we're at Remenham and we need to start eating back if we're going to do something about this, and so they are really taking this race back to London.
Then we talked about the Cox in the Thames B crew being able to see London. Now, London don't have that privilege or advantage here for Rose Lewis, who's facing towards the finish line. She's going to have to rely on Edward Thomas, likely, and bow seat Joshua Lyon to tell her what's going on. We've got the crew gaining on us, maybe not in so many words, but we need to do something now, because Thames B really are getting themselves onto the front foot, getting that overlap, and that sense of optimism, I think, continues to drive the crew on, doesn't it?
So we know it's a race of momentum, particularly when you're in a T-horse race, and so the momentum can swing to one to another, and Thames have created some with that huge Remenham push, but of course they're not quite on terms yet, so they know it worked, but they know it's not enough. And now when you put in that extra energy, you've got to go, right, actually we've now got to find something even more than that, and Rose will have to help them manage that. But we can see, yeah, Joshua Lyon, Lawrence Ellis, Ben Stathmer, Edward Thomas, Cox by Rose Lewis, that enormous experience here, and they are managing to stay in front.
I just saw the flags from Remenham Club wafting in the distance, and I thought, oh, they'll have gotten a really good surge from that. And then I thought, well, both crews will have gotten a great advantage from the Remenham Roar, won't they? There's neither crew that will have benefited from that sort of middle part of the course, getting that lift from the Remenham supporters, of which both London and Thames are a member of that sort of club collective. And look at that great shot there of Rose Lewis.
I really felt there, actually, there was just a sharpening up of the blades. I think they've just gone up one in the London crew. They know this isn't over, and they don't want to be in a sudden sprint at the end. They themselves have also got to start going for home a little earlier, and they'll be ready now. They'll be counting down. I think they've held that Thames push off for now, and they've got to get going in their sprint for the line, because Thames will be rallying again for one more go.
Yeah, Thames will know that this will be their last race of the regatta if they don't get a move on quickly. And so what is there to lose, Kath, at this point? You're a B crew, you're here in the Britannia Challenge Cup. This could be your last race of the regatta. You're going to try and get as close as possible to London. And what a brilliant race from a B crew versus London Rowing Club's A crew in this event. But that clear water has never really broken there, has it?
They've really taken it to them in the Thames Rowing Club B crew. London Rowing Club have had the answers, and they've had to stay on it all the way, and it is London Rowing Club who are going to cross the line and win this heat of the Britannia Challenge Cup, having been really tested by the Thames B crew.